Right now, somewhere in your home, there is something sweet, and a part of your brain already knows exactly where it is. You'll tell yourself you're not even hungry. You'll probably eat it anyway. And then you'll feel weak, like you failed some test of willpower. You didn't. That craving is older than your species, and for almost all of human history, it's the reason you're alive. This is one of the most misunderstood feelings you have, and once you understand where it actually comes from, you will never feel guilty about it in quite the same way again. Let's start with a strange question. Why does sugar taste good at all? Not, why do you like it? Why is your tongue physically built to detect it and report it to your brain as a reward? Because taste was never about pleasure. Taste was a survival test. Every time an early human put something in their mouth, they were running a chemical analysis with life or death stakes. Bitter usually meant poison. Sour could mean unripe or rotten. But sweet? Sweet meant something incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. Pure, fast, usable energy, with almost no chance of being toxic. In a world where starvation was a constant threat, sweetness was your brain's way of screaming one word. Yes, eat this. Eat all of it. Eat it now. And here's the part that changes everything. For 300,000 years, that instruction was almost impossible to overuse. Think about where sugar actually came from in nature. There were no shelves. There was no sugar. There was ripe fruit, available for a few weeks a year if you were lucky. There was honey, hidden inside a swarm of stinging bees, guarded like treasure, raided maybe a few times a year. Sugar wasn't a snack, it was a jackpot. A rare, seasonal, dangerous-to-get explosion of energy that might not come again for months. So evolution built a brain with a simple rule. When you find sugar, do not be reasonable about it. Gorge, load up, store it as fat. Because winter is coming, and there may be nothing. That rule was perfect. For almost all of human history, it worked flawlessly. The craving and the scarcity were in perfect balance. But to really understand why that craving feels so unstoppable, we need to look at what's happening inside your brain, because it's not what most people think. Most people assume you crave sugar because it makes you happy, but the science says something stranger. Wanting and liking are two completely different systems in your brain. This was the life's work of a neuroscientist named Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan. For decades, he studied the brain's reward system, and he found something that surprised even him. The liking system, the actual pleasure of a taste, is small, and it's quiet, and it fades fast. But the wanting system, driven by dopamine, is enormous and relentless, and it does not require pleasure at all. Dopamine is not the chemical of enjoyment, it's the chemical of pursuit, of craving, of, I need to go get that. This is why you can stand in front of an open fridge at midnight, not even hungry, not even expecting to enjoy it, and still feel an almost magnetic pull towards something sweet. That's not the liking system. That's the wanting system, firing exactly the way it evolved to. Your brain isn't promising you happiness, it's issuing a command. And sugar, it turns out, is one of the most powerful triggers of that wanting system we have ever found. But there's a final piece, and it was only discovered a few years ago. It explains something you've probably experienced your whole life without realizing it. Why doesn't diet soda satisfy you? Why does artificial sweetener taste sweet but leave you feeling unfinished? For a long time, scientists assumed the craving was all on the tongue. Sweet taste, sweet reward, done. They were wrong. In 2020, a research team led by Charles Zuker at Columbia University discovered something hidden. There is a second sugar sensor, and it isn't in your mouth. It's in your gut. When real sugar reaches your intestine, a dedicated set of nerves lights up and sends a signal straight up to the brain through the vagus nerve, a private hotline your tongue knows nothing about. Artificial sweeteners trigger the taste sensor, but not the gut sensor. They fool your tongue, but they can't fool your intestine. And your brain notices. That's why diet soda feels like a promise that's never kept. The sweetness arrives, but the deeper signal, the one that says real energy is here, never fires. So now put all three of these together. A tongue built to celebrate sugar as a rare survival win. A wanting system that hunts it relentlessly, with or without pleasure. And a hidden gut sensor demanding the real thing. For 300,000 years, that machinery was a gift. But then, in a blink of evolutionary time, the world changed, and the machinery didn't. Today, sugar isn't a seasonal jackpot hidden in bees. It's in almost everything. It's cheap, it's everywhere, It's engineered by food scientists who literally calculate the exact amount that makes a product irresistible. Your brain is still running software written for a world of scarcity, in a world that now has infinite supply. So when you feel that pull towards something sweet and then feel weak for giving in, understand what's really happening. You are not failing a test of character. You are running a survival program that kept your ancestors alive through 300,000 years of famine and scarcity and uncertainty. The craving isn't a flaw in you. It's one of the most successful features in the history of life. It's just firing in the wrong century. Your body still thinks sugar is rare. It still thinks every bite might be the last one for months. It's trying to save your life, the only way it has ever known how. The problem was never your willpower. The problem is that you won a game your body was never built to stop playing.